Good evening and welcome to another one of our Friday night programs here at the IIA presented by the MYC. My name is Mohammad. Assalamu alaikum. And before we get started, I would like to present to you Brother Anwar Mahmood for him reciting Quran. So please help him, welcome him up to the podium after a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والسماء ذات البروج واليوم الموعود وشاهد ومشهود قتل أصحاب الأخدود النار ذات الوقود إذ هم عليها قعود وهم على ما يفعلون بالمؤمنين شهود وما نقموا منهم إلا أن يؤمنوا بالله العزيز الحميد الذي له ملك السماوات والأرض والله على كل شيء شهيد إن الذين فتنوا المؤمنين والمؤمنات ثم لم يتوبوا عليهم فلهم عذاب جهنم فلهم عذاب جهنم ولهم عذاب الحريق إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار ذلك الفوز الكبير إن بطش ربك لشديد إنه هو يبدئ ويعيد وهو الغفور الودود ذو العرش المجيد فعال لما يريد هل أتاك حديث الجنود فرعون وثمود بل الذين كفروا في تكذيب والله من ورائهم محيط بل هو قرآن مجيد في لوح محفوظ صدق الله العلي العظيم صلوات على محمد وآل محمد.
Thank you, Brother Anwar, for that beautiful recitation. Can we please give him another loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Tonight's topic is the sign of narcissism with our guest speaker, Hajj Wissam Bazzi. But before we get started, can we please have the brothers and sisters move up to the front a bit so we can, get more tight? So please help me give a round of salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad for Hajj Wissam Bazzi, everyone.
صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. I love it. It's amazing. I'm not picking on you either. Trust me. If I can seriously just have you just come up as much as possible, it's just a lot easier for me to connect to you guys. So the more I can look at your amazing, mashallah, faces and the iman that just comes out of them, it makes me a lot stronger. So sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Thank you. I appreciate it. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين أبو القاسم محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. I just want you to imagine just for a little bit. Just go on a journey with me. And I want you to imagine a man who's standing in front of you. And it's about 1400 years ago. You don't know what this man's going to say. You don't know what he's going to do. But everyone has gathered. And now, this man stands on the side of a mountain. And he says, if there was a caravan behind this mountain, if I said to you, there's a caravan behind this mountain, would you believe me? They said what? Yes, we would believe you. And they gave him two names. What are the two names? Can anybody say them? Can anybody say the names? What did they say to him? Let me test your history a little bit. They said to him, you are a Sadiq al-Amin, the truthful one, trustworthy one. Place yourself in that land. You don't know if this man is going to complete his mission. You don't know who he really is as a person. It's much more difficult to believe in that state. But what characteristics did they give him? Truthfulness, and trustworthiness. I want to take you through a little layer. It's a layered process. Every one of you here, at the end of the day, you have something called character. What is your character? It's your identity. That identity that you hold has characteristics. That identity is up for sale every single day. You're selling it every single day. When a cop pulls you over, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Your principal, your dean, your teacher, you're always selling what? Your character. Now, how do you sell that character? How? What dictates you having a strong personality? The way you sell your character is through trust. Look at any relationship. Any two people with two intentions, the bridge between those two intentions is what? Trust. Look at your relationship now with anyone. When the worst thing happens to you and you're just sitting there and something really awful happens to you, you pick up the phone and what do? You call someone. That's your most trusted person. So what? Trust. To be able to sell your character, you have to build trust with people. How do you build trust? So layer one is your character. You are a product. and it's for sale and it's on display every single day. You are that product. It's your character. Now, we said to sell your character, you have to build trust. People have to trust you. Number two, through that trust, how do you sell trust? Honesty. As-sadiqul Amin. The truthful one, trustworthy one. That creates credibility. When you stand and people know you are honest, what happens? Your character will dominate any situation. And I'm going to take you through that. And someone who's narcissistic, what happens to them? They're actually opposite of everything that I'm going to show you. I'm going to take you through a process that we all go through every single day. All of us. Every single decision you make, where is it coming from? Do you reach in the depths of your soul? You pull out your words, and when you speak, you shake the ground. It's what the truth entails. When you can do that, when you can dig that far into your own self and look and say, you know what, this is me. And I'm not afraid to show you my mistakes. I wear those on my left sleeve. And I'm not afraid to show you what I can do. And I wear that on my right sleeve. And I don't care. I will display who I am regardless. Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, he says, وَالْقَوْلِ بِالْحَقِّ وَإِنْ عَزْ. To say the truth, even if it's against myself. Can you be like that? Can you have that kind of what? Integrity. Where your face is just one. I don't flip a million different faces because of the individual who's in front of me. I don't. I'm one person, one character. I'm truthful and I'm trustworthy. And I stand. I don't move. Because in my heart, I have that. I'm secure. Now, how do you say the truth and you are honest? Right now, I'll give you a quick example. I'm going to take you through impression management in a little bit. But how do you stay honest? There's internal honesty and external honesty. Internal honesty. I do something with my daughter, and I'll explain to you. I'll give you the example. Some of us, we love to lie to ourselves. We love to think that what? We're a certain person. The ideal self. And when we live and when we talk, when I circumambulate my tongue and I transmit my message to you, I build a character in my head first and I display it to you. I say, look at me. But it has nothing to do with you. I'm just impression managing you. I give you something you want to see. I build an identity based on the individual that's standing in front of me. Is that truthfulness? Is that trustworthiness? That's very difficult to do, by the way. But some people are masters at it. They will study every single thing that you do. They're watching you with the utmost precision. And guess what? They can even take it to the level of emotional mimicry. They can actually mimic your emotions and show you that they're a mirror of you. I can actually sell you emotions. I can feel what you feel, but it's not real. I've had people like that. People who are what? So good in the corporate world. My God, what they can do. They can literally display emotions, but they're not real emotions. But they will display them to you, and you will believe them. It's incredible when someone's like that. So impression management is something that when I dig into myself, I don't like who I am. When I look inside, and I truly look inside, and I'm truly honest with myself, I don't like who I am. So do you think if I don't like something, do you think I want to display it to the world? It becomes very difficult. I don't want you to see that person because I don't like them. So now what do I start doing to gain attention? I have a need for admiration. What do I start doing? What do most people, please just answer me real quick. It's not rhetorical. What do people start doing to gain attention? What is it? Buy things. Like what? Give me some examples. What do they buy? Cars, houses. Why is that so important? You ever heard of something like having a trophy wife? You want to know how that works, sisters? Let me show you how it works, okay? Get away from this guy, please. Trust me. You have no idea what's coming your way. And none of the guys here, alhamdulillah, are like that, right, guys? Okay. So now, here's what a person like that is doing. They need a trophy wife. How? Why? Do they really care about you as a person? Or their own sense of self? It's an exaggerated sense of self. Now, when that person has you underneath his arm, here's what happens. Your beauty, which he thinks is something that's a lot of value, and unfortunately, these days, beauty is sold. And it makes our women, I'm sorry, so cheap. But not our women. Alhamdulillah. When you hold value and you put the scarf on, and if you're having a battle with it, it's okay. It's okay. And sometimes the scarf itself is not respected in the right way. And it's even worn. The scarf is not a piece of clothing. It's not an article of clothing. It's an identity. There's an internal scarf and an external scarf. Completely different reality. Please trust that. Trust it. It's there for you. It's not there for anyone else. It's for you. And my brothers, same thing. Please, when you see something on the internet, don't like it. Don't. Because you know it's wrong. But we choose to display ourselves this way. Ask yourself, please, the next time you're about to take that small little action, do you realize what you're doing? Do you? You think these small decisions that you make, you think they're not going to affect you? Don't do the things you don't want to become. Don't. You're wiring yourself. And you think in 10 years, I'm just going to change. It doesn't happen. You're going to lose yourself. The target that you had, that I'm going to go to Hajj when I'm 60, I'm sorry. By the time you get there, you know what's going to happen? You won't even know what Hajj is. It's okay. No problem. Get it. Now, I'm giving you some bits and pieces in terms of narcissism on the inside, but I don't care about that. Listen, the Prophet's too great, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet is amazing. When you choose to follow our principles, our religion, it's amazing what happens to you. How you become so intact and your identity. And then when you speak, the truth is on your tongue and your sincerity is in your heart. How do you speak the truth? Let me go back to my point. How do you speak the truth? The truth is a very difficult thing. Al-haqqu ma'ali wa aliyu ma'al-haqq. The truth is with Ali, and Ali is with the truth. It's a two-way street. Now, in order for you to say the truth, Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I want to thank one of my brothers who's here, and is a person that means a lot to me. And me and him have grown up together. I'm a little older than him, but I can still hang. Alhamdulillah. And he's a very special person to me. And this is the brotherhood you guys need to form, okay? You guys need to understand that. And the sisterhood as well. You can't just pick up people off the street and say, hey, just be my friend. You can't do that. You got to share these things. And mashallah, I've watched him grow. An amazing person in my life and a lot of people's lives in this community. I want to thank Jalal Mughniye for being here, and he's in the back. Let's give him a lot of salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I remember Jalal when he was about 15 years of age. But I'm not going to say anything about him. I thought I was going to get you guys, but no, it's okay. Alhamdulillah. These are beautiful things. It's amazing. And this is why I tell you guys, my sisters and my brothers, who's going to take the next level? Who's going to stand up here? And trust me, our sisters need to step up. You need to. Because the programming that's happening, it's unbelievable. You need to step up. Because now when a man says something, it's automatically what? Goes against him. So if you say it and you step up, it's incredible what happens. So you need to step up. You need to talk. You need to voice your opinion. So now, how do you say the truth? Take this with you, please. If you don't take anything from this presentation, take this. The truth is when you drop the outcome. When you drop the outcome, hold on, give me 1 second. There we go. All right. When you drop the outcome, in the Quran it says, وَتَمَنَّوُا الْمَوْتِ إِن كُنْتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. Long for death if you are truthful. Now, when the truth is with you, what happens to you? Let's take an example of Imam Ali alayhi salam. Imam Ali is in the middle of battle. How do you get to these kinds of feelings? How? How, as a person? Test yourself at this level. Can you long for death? So what happens when you long for death? Death is a scary thing. It's packed with fear. But if you long for death, are you fearful? You're not. So how do you get to a state of security when the situation holds utmost fear? How? When you have the truth in your heart and you can dig to that level, I'm telling you, the peace and the calmness that you feel is incredible. Imam Ali is in the middle of battle. He's facing off against someone. Now what happens? Imam Ali knocks his sword away. He looks at him and he says to him, I won't kill a man in a state of fear. The man becomes arrogant and he says to him, kill me. Imam Ali says, no, I won't kill you. How do you flip someone's heart who wants to kill you? Watch the actions. This is who we have. I don't care what example you follow, what scientists you follow, what level of identity you follow. No one can do it like this. Because the amount of security you have to have in your heart to actually do what I'm going to say next is incredible. It's impeccable in character. You can't do it without the truth. You won't feel that secure. Now, Imam Ali alayhi salam is standing there. He's looking at him. The other man's looking at him. The other man notices who he is. He's like, I know you. He goes, I've heard that you have never refused a beggar. He goes, now I'm a beggar and I'm begging for your sword. Give me your sword. Imam Ali lowers the sword, hands it to him. This is so profound. The man asks him, now who's going to protect you? Listen to the answer. I swear to you, this makes my whole body to shake. Why? Because at the end of the day, this is principle. This is truth. It's being unveiled to you. You choose to listen, you listen. You choose not to listen, it's up to you. No one can force you to do anything. Now, Imam Ali alayhi salam says, death is my protector. You know how philosophical that is? You know how powerful that is? He's literally saying, if you were to kill me now, then it's my time. But if my time is decreed later, how are you going to kill me? You can't. I'm protected. Can you feel that secure in that state? Can you? Ask yourself, I swear to you right now, dig into your own being. Dig into your own heart right now. Just take a second. And there's something so deep inside of you that you want to change. Right now, do it. Just close your eyes if you even want to. And be so truthful with yourself that you look into your own soul and say to yourself, I'm going to change this. Be that real. Be that open. I swear to you, your heart will open. And once your heart opens, I swear to you, that's the journey you want to take. It's in every one of you. Every one of us wants to change something. When you become brutally honest with yourself, this is what happens. You display yourself to the world. And when you display yourself to the world, you won't care what people think. You won't impression manage anyone. You won't. You won't care to. I am up here. This is who I am. This is my identity. Take it or leave it. Then even you're trying to get married, you know what happens? You'll tell the person, listen, I'm as clear as water. I'm not trying to shade my character whatsoever. This is what I do. This is who I am. I'm not trying to fool you whatsoever. Because narcissism happens mainly at what? In relationships. Here is how you get impression managed. Here's what we do. When someone is doing this to you, please be careful. I'm going to give you 3 stages. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Impression management is when someone consciously or subconsciously runs a process on you so they can maneuver and change your perspective about a person, an object, or an event. That's what they're trying to do. They're literally telling you, listen, she's a bad person. Don't go next to her. But she's not. So literally through that information, through that thought, it's a lens. I've given you a lens to look through about this person. That's impression management. I influence you by managing pieces of information. Now, here's some of the ways people do it. I can tell you a blatant lie about a person that's not true. And I'm going to take you through what happens when you build your infrastructure and your belief system based on lies. You skew your reality and not even know it. You skew it. And you start thinking that actually this is the truth when it's not. And literally, it starts affecting the way you view the world based on how you lie to yourself. There's no honesty. How do you even trust yourself in what you're saying? You actually lose the truth. Even when you speak, you're even doubting who you are. Imagine living in that state where I become a habitual liar because I'm so afraid to display myself to the world. Lying has so many effects that you have no idea how much it damages you. And by the way, this happens to us as we're very young. The smarter the kid is, the smarter they are, the faster they figure out how to lie. I swear to you, you see some kids sometimes, they're like adults. You go around, they maneuver so well. It's incredible what happens and how they do it. Now, stage one is pure lying. In the Quran it says, "Al-fitnatu ashaddu min al-qatl." To say something that's not true about another individual or something else, it's worse than killing. It's worse than killing someone. You know why? Now imagine I go say something about you and it's not true. And now people start viewing you that way. Then even worse, imagine I even spread it all over social media and people believe it now about you. I just assassinated your character. It's the worst thing in the world when you do that to someone. Now, that's the first stage. The second stage, please look at yourself and where you're at in these stages. Okay? Number two has two levels: half-truths and exaggerations. Please listen to these two. Okay? Inshallah, none of you are what? Liars. Alhamdulillah. No one in here is a liar. I'm sure if I asked every one of you in here, okay, do you lie? You'll be like, no, I tell sometimes white lies. But at the end of the day, okay, you wouldn't consider yourself a liar. It's very difficult to look at your perspective and don't think it's a moderate perspective. Actually, the way we judge others in terms of the social studies of things, we judge people on extremes, but we're always right where? In the middle. So when we judge others, guess what happens? It's too much. She's too much. No way. Me, I'm perfect. I got it. I know where the line is. So just quick side note. Islam is moderation. Whatever Islam says, it's moderation. It's a beautiful thing. Now watch. What are half-truths? Listen to this. I'm just going to give you an example. My father or my mother tell me, I don't like this kid. You're hanging around a person I don't like. And now both of you discover that this person is not a good person. They call you. Hey, what's up? You're like, hey, what's up? Come by. So you go over there and you visit, knowing that your father or mother disapprove. You've been there for a half hour. Guess who calls? Baba or Mama. You're on the phone. What do I do? Do I say the truth? It becomes so difficult. When you open the phone and then you see the name, what happens to your heart? At that second, I swear you take a step back. Just take one step back and tell yourself the truth. Can you live like that? Where your own intention is scrolling on your forehead and other people can see it. Can you live like that? But you know what we do? This is what we do. You wait, you don't answer. This is what happens. You don't answer the call, and now you give yourself a little space. You leave the house, and what do? You get in your car, and you start moving 1 mile an hour. Now you call your dad, and what do you say? Baba, I love you. How are you? Baba's like, Albi, Ruhi, how are you? Is everything okay? Just checking on you. Where are you? I'm driving. Baba, I'm driving. You just went down the driveway of your friend's house. Are you lying? No, you're not lying. But you're hiding the truth. You hide in the shadows. And you think no one sees you. You're manipulating. And you're shifting things. This is how we work. And then what? We justify it to ourselves. I'm not lying. I'm not. If this becomes your reality, trust me, you're building your foundation on the wrong things. Your identity is not intact. You know why? Because when you hit the next stage of life, which has more responsibility on you, what are you going to think is going to happen to your belief structure? What do you think is going to happen when it's based on falsities and lacking of truth? Responsibility just gets heavier. And you know what's going to happen to your belief structure? It's going to collapse under the next level. That's what happens. Now, exaggerations. There's 1,000 people that come out to see this speaker. And 2 people call and complain. But listen, you didn't like this speaker. And the speaker doesn't like you. So what do? You go to the CEO and you tell the CEO, man, people are calling. They're calling. My God, what's happening? They complained. Do you say how many people called? See how you're putting on one dot, on one spot, you're exaggerating it. Is that truth? You're telling the truth. But the truth has many layers. That if I were to dig deeper, and if I were to ask you, how many people called? You're like 2 out of 1,000. The impression that you're giving is not truthful. That's a lie. Your truth on one level, false on another. Who are you? Who are you? See what happens to your identity? It becomes split. This is also a form of cognitive dissonance. You have two cognitions that are split, but they're on the opposite end of each scale. That's how it works. The third level is people who are what? They have the truth. They have it. They speak it. And they're not scared to display it. Some of my sisters here, you're going to go out into what? The workforce. And now, some sisters are doing what? Because of work. What do some of the sisters do because of work? It's like an epidemic now. I'm not saying all. Obviously, we're speaking majority, minority. You know? Or let's say minority, majority. Let's do it that way, inshallah. But it's happening that I think my scarf is going to hinder my career. Which identity do you want to follow? Your career or your moral code and system? Are you that honest with yourself? The first place you have to be honest is where? With you. You know why we're not honest with ourselves? Let's say you're having trouble with the hijab. Let's say it's okay. We're not honest because what? The main thing is we have to justify our actions to ourselves. We do something wrong, we feel the guilt, we justify, it removes the guilt. This is how you become a habitual liar to yourself first. This is where it starts. It starts there. Then it's much easier to lie to people. But what happens when you have the truth? This is what you do. You look in the mirror and you say to yourself, this is who I am. This is my truth. I have many faults. Do you think you will have time to look at anyone else? I swear to you, the second you will start looking to the inside, you will not have room to judge anyone else, because your journey begins. And once you understand that your journey is inward, not outward, I don't blame the world. I take charge of who I am, and I start looking inside. And I need to fix me. You know what happens when you start looking at other people and they have faults? You'll start judging with a merciful heart. That person will remind you of what you need to work on when you see the sin. They become a reflection for your own sins. It doesn't make you better than anyone else because you sin differently than someone else. No one is better than anyone. So when you judge people, judge with a merciful heart, not a blameful heart. And the only way you do that is to go on the inside journey of who you are. When you do that, you start taking responsibility. You will start moving towards self-development, not self-sabotage. If you deny the truth and where you need to work on yourself, you're actually moving towards self-sabotage. Not what? Self-development. So the truth, when it's displayed, you show character at the highest level. And then when you are truthful, you know what will happen with people? They will trust you. The Prophet ﷺ, when he stood on that mountain and he said to them, I'm Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And he begins by saying, if there's a caravan behind this mountain, would you believe me? They're like, yes, you are a sadiqul amin. The truthful one, the trustworthy one. Truth brings what? Trust. Trust brings what? your character to the highest level. Once you have impeccable character, when people see you, imagine when someone sees you and they look at you and they say, that's truth walking by. They don't call you by your name. They say, that's truth walking by. That's trustworthiness. That's forbearance. So Imam Ali alayhi salam, when he lowers his sword and he says to the man, death is my protector, look at the way he finishes the whole story. The man asks him again, and he says to him, now I want to follow you. Imagine a person who is trying to kill you. He's trying to kill you. And not by what? A bullet. By the sword. That's very gruesome. You know what kind of energy you have to kill someone like that? You know what kind of heart you have to build to get to that level? But how do you stay calm in that kind of state? How? That's what the truth does. But when you start going inside, and nafsul lawama, you start looking into yourself, studying who you are. You will bring the truth up and you work on it. And you say, you know what? In 2 years, I want to develop this character. This is who's going to be me. These are the characteristics I want to embed into what? Me. That's my future self. So Imam Ali alayhi salam says to him, grabs his beard, and he says, follow principle, not personalities. Wow. Because when you own principles and they're actually embedded into your system, you become that personality. But if you follow personalities, you can mold yourself to any set of systems or principles that a person has. So download what? Principles like that. So when Imam Ali alayhi salam is walking towards his own death, he knows someone's going to strike him. Would you get up in the morning and walk to that mosque? Would you? Would you? Would you face death willingly, with the humblest of hearts and no fear and absolute calmness? That's beautiful. That's the character you want to be. And when you can do that, and you can face death like that, where you welcome it, وَتَمَنَّوْا الْمَوْتِ إِن كُنْتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. I just want to say a few things beforehand. You're all here. Right now, take a second and just reflect. And earlier, if you found something you wanted to change, anything you're struggling with, bring it to the surface and say, I'm going to change you. That's the battle you have to win. I have clients who've been battling for over 30 years, one problem. And they've lost every year. But they won't give up. They won't give up. That's a long time. But I promise you, if you take it on, it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down. It doesn't matter. Stand up the next day and fight again. It doesn't matter. Some of the things that you will go through will knock you to your knees. But take that and push it forward. Instead of when someone says no to you, flip the O and you turn it on and move forward. It's incredible what happens when that mentality is up here. Nothing can stop you. And now when you represent the religion and you're walking, the amount of respect that people will show you is unbelievable. You won't need to ask for respect. You won't want respect. People will just give it to you. That's the epitome of the lack of narcissism. I don't need anyone to validate who I am. And I just want to say this to you. How many of us seek validation from others in terms of who we are? This is an epidemic now. Because of what? One thing. Can anyone say it? What is it? Hassan. I always like to use this example because I grew up, I'm a little older than you. Not too old, alhamdulillah. We used to print out pictures, okay? This is something that's to you guys okay, you're a dinosaur, okay? I just want you to imagine this. I want you to imagine me walking around with a picture, and I have a tally underneath the picture, and I'm asking you, like my picture, please. Could you like my picture? Look how nice it is. I love it. What would you think of me? Seriously, what would you think of me if I walked around with a picture and I said, you know what? Like my picture, please, please, Habibi, look at my pose. Look, mashallah. This one, look at this one. You have to like this one. What would you say to me? Anjad, seriously, what would you say to me? What? Just say it. Wallah, just talk out loud. I don't care anymore. Just say what you need to say. What is it? Okay, so I'm making fun of myself. What else? How would you look at me, Anjad? What is it? Just one at a time. Okay, mashallah, you're all excited. What would you say? Go ahead. I'm insane. What else? May God help you. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Desperate. What is it? Does that make a difference? But you see, I love that. I love what you said. But you see how we make things normal when they're not? Do you see how we become tricked on certain things? And now I need that validation from other people. And now I seek it. You don't think that's a disease? You don't think inside me, I'm creating a disease? And now I have that need for someone to hit the like button. Now, imagine this. Imagine I walk around and only 2 people say, MashaAllah alaik, you're so, wow. Great picture. I love the pose. Do them all like that. Imagine I get 2 likes. And I get all the crazy, insane stuff from the other people. Would I do that? Would I do that again? Okay. If you have the courage, I want you to try it. Can anybody volunteer? Wow. I should have just asked you to jump off a bridge. Okay, I wouldn't do it. I'm telling you, I wouldn't. It's too embarrassing. And I have no problem getting judged by others. Otherwise, I won't be up here. But at the end of the day, it's a very difficult thing. But social media, Instagram was literally developed by what? Psychiatrists, psychologists, and programmers. They're designed to be addictive. Designed. Understand you're being programmed. Understand that. And I'm not telling you not to use it properly. Use it. It's part of our age. It's okay. But know what's happening in the background. Know what's happening to you. How subconsciously you're being wired and you don't even realize it. That your relationship with your phone is what? A better relationship than you have with other people. People are actually a disturbance to your phone. I love you, Habibi. But isn't that the truth? Understand, this is the beginning of narcissism. Understand that. These are the beginning steps. These are the things that affect you, that you need validation constantly from the outside world. And I'm sorry, a lot of people can't break the habit. They can't. Kids these days are being called digital natives. I'm a digital immigrant. Alhamdulillah. I'm a digital immigrant. So I just want to say that message to you. This is the beginning. These things are linked. When you need someone to respect you, someone to validate who you are, understand your personality in the inside is shaken. You're not strong. When you have the truth and you go to the inside and you work on yourself and you take responsibility for who you are, guess what happens? You stop caring what other people think. And now when you stand up here, you like me, thank you. You don't like me, thank you. I'm okay. I swear to you, it's not gonna bother me. Because I'm up here, I'm trying to save myself. I can't save you. Allah sa'adkun, I'm being honest. Like, I can't. No matter what I say, okay, it's up to you. It's how it hits your ear. It may ring and it may, you know what, bounce right out. You're like, this guy's crazy. Anjad, he's crazy. Who said I was insane? Right? Okay. And some of you, it just goes in your ear and it hits your head and you're like, it makes sense. But then 2-3 hours later, you're like, I don't want to reflect. I don't want to think about it. And some of you, it will hit your ear, decode the information in your head, then it sinks into your heart. And when that happens, please, at that moment, water it with your emotions. Connect it to you and work on it. That will change you. That's true change. So the whole social media thing, some of you this week, right? I'm going to see some posts of you just taking pictures. And you're like my picture? I swear to you, it'd be epidemic. Just do it. Like, please like my picture. Carry a picture around and just what? Have people like it. I think it'll go viral. Don't take my word on that. Okay? Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Let's take some quick questions real quick. Go ahead. Uh-oh. Wow. Okay. So, excellent. Can anybody tell me what the truth is? That's what you're really asking, correct? Like, what is the truth? How do I know I have the truth? Can anyone, go ahead. You'll know it when you have it. But think about different religions. And somebody will tell you, listen, this is the way. And someone will tell you what? This is the way. Think about that. How do you know you're right? Anyone else right now, okay? This used to be a church. Correct? Now it's a mosque. Who's right? God was worshipped. 2 different doors. Similar doors. Our Christian brothers and sisters. Now, my beautiful brothers and sisters in Islam. How do you know you're right? Let me question you now. How do you know you're right? Character. But I'm an atheist, and I have really good character. If I see you and you're getting your jacket, I will put it on your back. It's great character. How do you know? How do you know you're holding on to the truth? Okay, you're getting warm. Okay, you look at God and what He tells you to do, and then you look at the reasoning behind it. Go ahead. Beautiful answer. You guys, these are beautiful. We should just have a discussion about this. I think this is awesome. What is the truth? Okay, beautiful answer, by the way. So you went to the emotional aspect of it and emotional kind of navigation. Anybody else? All of you are failing, by the way, miserably. I'm joking. Go ahead. We're losing them, guys. Hurry up, come on. What is it? See how I make people uncomfortable? See that? Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We're just getting to the good part. I don't think you want to go. I'm joking. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Say it again. The bitter thing that causes you to change. So pain. Find your pain. I like that. Philosophy major, mashallah. Go ahead. Okay. So something that resonates with your soul. All right, here we go again. Man, I don't think we should have went to the truth topic. But, okay, so now, something that resonates with your soul. But again, I just want you to think that people, where are you going, guys? You two, you leave, I'm done. I'm leaving with you. Okay. Here's what happens. If we truly look at this, truly, mashallah, look, that was supposed to be a joke. Nobody laughs? Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so now, watch this. See, that one worked. MashaAllah. I'm getting better at this. Okay, so watch this. Now, I just want to give you an understanding of how things work. Why our religion is so impeccable. Why? The one thing that separates everything is one word. Can anyone say it to me? One word. One word. It's a secret, okay? I'm going to give it to you. Listen, shut off the cameras. It's one word. Islam, beautiful. What about Islam? What? Logic, I love logic. God, I love God. Go ahead. Somebody had their hand up. Faith, I love faith. Peace, I love peace. Deen, so religion, I love religion. What else? Modesty, I love modesty. Way of life, I love that way of life. Tawakkul ala Allah, I love that. Interest? Ethics, beautiful. What else? Whoa, come up here. Come up here. I have to bring you up here. Come up here. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. You're going to wish you never said that word. Come up, Habibi, come here. Okay. He's a fellow Bazzi. So let's give him a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. It's okay. It's okay. You're fine. Hold on. Let me feel his heart. Okay. It's really moving. Okay. Listen, when you're challenged, by the way, it's like, hold on. Give me my jacket back. All right. So watch this. If I were to put his heart on a monitor right now, when you're in resting position, your heart is about 85 beats per minute. Right now, his heart would be around 130. Literally. You want? Okay, do it. No, I don't think so. It's lying. Now watch this. Watch this. Here's what happens. Why did you say tawheed? Why? I want to hear your answer. It's your stage. No. See, to watch. Listen. See when you're called out.
Seriously, when you're called out like that, okay, and you say one word, you better be able to back it up. You better be able to do it. Or otherwise, don't speak. Because at the end of the day, when you say these words and you think they're light, they're not light. I don't know, we go back all night. But these things are so powerful. Ideas are powerful. Ideas are very expensive at the end of the day. And the one who holds the highest ideas and the highest formatted ideas, and they can explain them, they're usually the most powerful people. At the end of the day, you're a set of ideas. That's all you are. That's all you own. Tawheed is the center of your ideas. It's the center of anything in this world. It starts there. So now, my beautiful and amazing brother is going to explain to you Tawheed. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
I'm not going to explain
Tawheed.
Tawheed.
Don't make me look bad.
But I would say Tawheed is,
Step up.
personally, I'd say Tawheed is, just from a life's perspective, is following infinity. And once you're attached to infinity, you know that you're infinite yourself. That's all. Am I done?
Come here.
Okay.
Okay. See, mashallah, I know what he can do. I know he has a great answer. And mashallah, he hit it on that in terms of the word infinity. But at the end of the day, you have to be able to support these ideas. And I'm making him really, really nervous, but it's all good. Ta, habib, it's okay. Okay, stand right next to me. The camera's right there. We can look good together, okay? So now, when you start understanding that, and he said the magic word of Tawheed, I challenge anyone on the face of this earth, anyone, to have more of an understanding of Tawheed than being a Shia. Anyone on the face of this earth. Why? Because of one man. You know who that is? See the suspense? See the weight of the room? I'm not going to say it to you. He's going to say it to you.
Nabi Muhammad.
He's got to say a little. I built the suspense all the way, and this is what you do?
The Prophet Muhammad.
Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
You can say. Behind the Prophet, also there's a division. And it's okay. You can have academic conversations about these things. It's okay. I challenge anyone on the face of this earth to talk about Allah and remove one of the vowels in a sermon. I challenge anyone to stand next to Imam Ali alayhi salam in Tawheed. I challenge. This is what separates you. That concept. No one on the face of this earth can stand like we can stand. Know your value and who you follow. Don't waste it. Trust me, you're going to be asked about it because you were in line with this path. Do you truly know it? When you say, Ya Allah, do you truly know who you're calling? Do you? Can you hit your target? Or, if the Prophet says, Ya Allah, will he hit his target? That's an incredible concept to think about. That's why. And that's how you know the truth. When you truly understand Tawheed, everything falls in line in your system. Everything. And it's a journey. It's a lifetime. Don't think it's light. Don't. I'm going to give you 4 simple stages. And please just listen. Okay? How do you get to it? There's 4 steps. Number 1, this is how you get yourself to different stages of who you are. First stage is tawakkul. Having tawakkul. Meaning that what? I drop the outcome. And I put it in whose hands? Allah Azza wa Jal. I say, Ya Allah, you got that. I don't know what's going to happen to me in the future. All I have is control over now. That's number 1. Number 2 is taslim. Taslim. You letting go. Musa's mother did what? She put the baby in the water. She let him go. Any sane mother would do that when a tyrant is after him. That's what? Taslim. Number 3, al-rida. In your heart. How many of us say, Alhamdulillah? How are you? Alhamdulillah. But then your complaints start coming out. This happened to me, and this happened to me. Life, my God. Your tongue is what? Okay. I'm saying I'm okay. But are you happy? Is your heart okay? Are you content with what you have? And number 4 is al-fana. This is the stage of like Imam Ali alayhi salam, where he's literally, anywhere he looks, anything he sees, Allah's there. That's a completely different level. But if you can get to the 3rd stage of whatever happens to you, I'm okay. Imam Hussein alayhi salam in Karbala, he says, Ar-rida wa taslim. He says both of them. Look for those in his speech. I'm not going to tell you what he says, but he says them right after each other. I've surrendered to your will, and I'm content, and I'm happy with whatever happens. Whatever you've given me, I'm okay with. Can you get your heart to that stage? It's very difficult to do, but try. So on that level, thank you for sharing. I really appreciate it. It takes a lot of strength to come up here. Now, you had another question, so please go ahead. Excellent. So what is validation? Can anyone tell me what validation is? Acceptance. What else? What is it? Approval. Okay, approval from others. Now, imagine if I didn't need approval from others. If I had enough strength to what? I didn't care. You accept me or you don't accept me. It doesn't bother me. So when I seek that level and I start becoming stronger, that I don't need your validation or approval. People who need that, what are they looking for? Comfort, beautiful. What is it? A reason. There's something deep inside they're looking for. Excellent. But there's actually something even deeper. Excellent. But keep going with that. If you need someone to tell you who you are, do you truly know yourself? Do you truly trust yourself? Self-confidence, that's a good start. Go further. Go one step deeper. Self what? Self-doubt, self-acceptance. You're getting very close. Starts with an E. Self. Ahsan, mashallah. See how he's like, self-esteem, I got it. The low levels of self-esteem, that's where it starts. And my reputation with myself, when I look in the mirror, I don't like who I am. So if I need someone to constantly tell me, listen, you look great, you look amazing, you look awesome, what you have is beautiful, what's going on with you is great, and someone rejects you just a little bit, it knocks all that down. You become very sensitive to rejection. Those are some of the signs. If you're sensitive to rejection, when someone rejects you at the highest level, I'll give you something to say, okay? I have 5 steps to it, but I'll give you the first one. It's very powerful. I swear to you, if you use it, I always teach people, reflect and don't inject, okay? Reflect and don't inject. So take the words, reflect them, push them back out, don't inject them into your heart. This is what you say. You ready? Everybody should write this down. Not on your phone, but in your mind, and inscribe it in your heart somewhere. Okay? Good one. I like that. Go ahead. You're talking about the physiological level. Sure. Sure. Do you have a medical background? Okay. Does anybody know long-term potentiation? How we learn? Should I go into that or forget it? She's like, no, don't. Okay. Sallu ala Muhammad. So you're right. In terms of the physiological aspect, in terms of the neural networks. So what happens when someone steps on a sensitivity that you have? That's literally like a landmine that goes off in your mind. So when a person goes through a bad experience and they meet another person, and the person steps on a past experience, which is a trigger, they actually invoke a neural pathway, and you don't realize it. Then this person is going off on you, and you have no idea why they're doing it. What happens is this, and I'll give you an example. So I'll answer this, then I'll go back to the self-esteem aspect of it. Okay? So when you go across a person, and then you're having a conversation, and you just literally step on a landmine, that's a trigger. That's a sensitivity for the other person. What happens inside the other person is there's an emotional explosion that happens inside, and you don't know it. You didn't mean to step on that because you don't know it's a trigger. And we're all like that, by the way. All of us have sensitivities that we have. Now, what happens, the circuit fires. It triggers a pathway in terms of your neural network. Then it hits the emotion. Now, certain hormones are released into your system. And guess what happens? You feel rage just come out. And now you just want to kill this person. What happened? There's a subconscious wiring that you're not aware of. But the person who is aware, and they realize that, listen, when someone, let's say the trigger, when someone judges my intentions wrongfully, that's my trigger. That was one of my triggers, and I didn't know it. When someone looked at my intention and they judged it in a wrong way, I just couldn't handle that. So what I started doing is something called awareness training, where I notice when someone presses the button. And I stop it at the neural circuit. If you don't do that, here's what's going to happen. Someone will step on your landmine. It will trigger a circuit inside your mind. It will hit your emotional state. And who's to blame? Who's to blame? Who's to blame? The person who stepped what? On that landmine. And you think you're completely justified. But you don't know that you have a trigger, that you're the problem. You don't realize that. So now, if you do the awareness training aspect of it, And you do this. When someone rejects you, you what? Open up space between that person's words and what? Your reaction. You step back. You create a gap. And this is what you do. You say this to the person. Please use this. This is a very powerful tool. It's just, listen, the weight of your words, you have no idea how powerful they are. You have no idea. The people who can formulate sentences in very short, powerful meanings are the strongest people of influence. And they can get what they want out of life. The people who can't do it have a very difficult time influencing others. And by studies, we have 27 conversations per day. That's 9,072 conversations per year. Imagine you can only influence out of those conversations about 2 to 5%. How happy are you going to be with your life? So I told you, reflect the idea and push it out. Don't inject it. This is how you do it. It's just the way you respond to it. Even if you feel that, it triggers the neural circuit. You feel it. Don't react. Step back 1 degree and say this. You want to drive people crazy? I swear to you, I shouldn't even say it. I swear to you, because it's, listen, when you start really knowing how to communicate, it's very dangerous because there's a fine line between manipulation and what? The truth. There's a very fine line. And when you become weaponized with certain ability to influence, it's very dangerous. That's why I'm very careful with the people I choose to kind of mentor and take to the next level. Because people did that with me. Now it's an obligation. So now, here's what you say. You ready? And the next time you use this, and somebody pushes your button, and you use this, they're going to be like, and especially if they know you're going to react, they know your pattern, and they know, like, between husband and wife, when I teach, like, the husband comes to me, and we're actually having, I'm mentoring him now, and or they're seeking some kind of, let's say they're executives, and a lot of executives actually will seek this. Man, I'm having a lot of trouble with my wife. This, and he just goes crazy, all right? And then I teach him a few things. And I know what's going to happen to her haram. Like, I know what's going to happen. I know that she's going to literally just, her system up here is not going to register anymore. And she's going to be like, and women, by the way, guys, forget it. I'm going too far. Okay. So, listen, I feel like I'm manipulating now, but please pay attention. When someone rejects you, what you say is, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for your feedback, and be enthusiastic. Thank you for sharing that. What happens to the other person's mind? Can they categorize you now? Can they put you in a certain category? They can't. It's like they don't know your position on the subject matter. They don't. That's one thing. Second thing, you're thanking them for putting you down. I'm going to give you another level, okay? For the people who chose to stay, okay? I'm going to give you some weapons. Second level, if they keep continuing, here's what you say, okay? You say, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Could you repeat it? I want to hear it again. 90% of the time, you know what will happen? You know what will happen? They won't repeat it. This is strength. And if they keep going, okay, third level, you want the third level? Okay. If they keep going, and they're not like, you know what? You're just a bad person. I hate you. You just suck. I can't stand you. And now this person has resentment against you. You just say this, like, are you really trying to hurt my feelings? I swear to you, the other person, if they haven't blown up by now, okay, it's incredible what you can do when you stay like that. Exactly. You're not allowing it to go into your heart. Stay calm. Stay collected. And if you do these things, it's incredible what happens. Then watch your triggers. Look at your triggers and your sensitivities. Because those things will literally, when somebody steps on those buttons, this is where you seek validation, by the way. It's through your insecurities. Your insecurities will cause the validations. If I have insecurities, I need someone to tell me what? I'm secure. I'm okay. So you need that validation. When somebody's going through a problem in life, what's the first thing you tell them? It's gonna be what? Okay. You're giving them security. That's what you're doing. So that's the way it works. I hope that answers your question. Any more quick questions? Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Could you higher your voice just a little bit? Okay, so I need you to rephrase the question just a little bit, because I'm sure I'm following. I just want to make sure. It's okay. But I love where you're going with it, brother. I think I got the picture. I just need to make sure I understand. Mm-hmm. Well, narcissistic people lack empathy. So they can't put themselves in someone else's shoes. You see what I'm saying? So that's the opposite of narcissism. An empath, or somebody who's empathetic, okay, can't be narcissistic. So I don't know if you're just mixing the ideas there. Okay? So if you're saying to be empathetic instead of narcissistic, is that what you're saying? Okay, to understand certain emotions. So explain the emotion to me. Like, what are those things right there? Feeling certain things. What are those things? So I just want to make sure I understand your question, and forgive me if I'm questioning you. I'm not putting you on the spot, okay? Okay, compassion. So how would that be a tool? Yes. If I lack compassion for others, how would that be a tool? So here's what I understand what you're saying. And let me rephrase so I just make sure I understand. Okay? So you're saying, I wouldn't want this to happen to me. Mentally, not emotionally. That's what you're saying. So mentally, okay, I don't like that, okay, because I don't like seeing that, right? Mentally. So I'm sympathizing, not empathizing. Is that what you're saying? They're two different things. Because narcissism, if you're looking at it through a logical perspective, I can see that. I can see how that would make sense, okay? But to truly change a situation, don't you think that you have to feel with that person? Don't you have to feel that pain of the person? Because being narcissistic at the end of the day is like when I lack empathy. I can't feel what others feel. So therefore I become self-centered. And listen, narcissistic NPD, okay, narcissistic personality disorder, it's not something easy to diagnose. A lot of people just sit there and, okay, this guy's a narcissist. You have no idea what you just did. Like literally, everybody's a narcissist, by the way, now. They have a bad relationship with someone. Oh, she's a narcissist. He's a narcissist. Yeah, ammi. Take it easy. Easy. You know, you have no, like, you know how hard these things are to diagnose? They're not easy. So don't use the words lightly. Okay? So these kinds of things, I would tell you, for truly to feel change, okay, at the end of the day, you have to be empathetic. To actually want to change something, that goes back to emotional states. Because emotional states cause drive. It causes me to approach something if I like it, and it causes me to avoid something if I dislike it. It's emotion. The mind creates awareness. I see and I have insight. Now it's the heart that pushes you towards something or makes you avoid it. So as a perspective and as a theory, I can see that possibility. But I think that's half of it. Where mentally, I can see what the truth is. I should change this situation. But I also have to feel with that person. If I truly felt what that person feels, and I'll give you an example of empathy. Okay? Watch this. There was a verse, and hold on. Man, I forgot it. Hold on. Man, it's not coming to me. That was literally my example. I'm going to show you how. Okay? You just said it's okay, right? I told you I forgot a verse. I didn't. I just played that whole act in front of you. But then you're like, what? What happened in your heart? Don't you like, just get it out? It's okay. Somebody says salawat. You're feeling my pain. You see that? That's how it works. When you can feel someone else's pain, you're actually with me on an emotional level. That's where things happen. That's being empathetic. Where you felt for me. You're like, you know what? It's okay. You did a great job. MashaAllah, what a presentation. But you screwed up the last one. If that's what your mind is saying, you need some work. All right? Look at this guy. He screwed it up. Like, Allah yasa'adak. If that's what your heart is saying, then you should get some work done, okay? But that's empathy. So I'm giving you sympathy, but also what? Empathy. You need both, mentally and emotionally. And I hope that answers your question. And if not, come to me afterwards, okay? Go ahead. Sure. Okay, excellent. Oh, based on the evolutionary part, that's what you're talking. Is that what you're talking about? An evolutionary science. Okay, excellent. Go ahead. Thank you for that, by the way. Thank you for sharing. Nobody got it? Come on, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Sure. Okay. I love what he's saying, by the way. Okay, and I hope is that what you're saying? Okay, excellent. But look, I really appreciate what's your name, by the way? Kareem. Thank you for sharing, Kareem. Okay, I wasn't reflecting. Okay, I'm injecting that because that's beautiful. All right, Kareem. Imam Ali alayhi salam was in battle. Do you think when Imam Ali killed someone, he was putting himself first? Think about it. If it's you or me, think about it. If it's you against me, black and white, and there is no decision in between, you kill me or I kill you, is that a form of narcissism? Is that a form of being selfish? Excellent. So it's a form of even a sacrifice to put yourself in that position in the first place, correct? Okay, so you see how tricky this can be? It's not just one side, and I see what you're saying, but it's not that the fact that I can't feel, or I'm literally, but what they're saying is I've desensitized myself, so what happens? I can't feel. I don't care when I kill you. I feel nothing. Is that what you're supposed to feel? That's really the question. Would you agree with me, Kareem? Lack of emotion. So therefore, it's labeled as what? Narcissism. Lack of empathy. I don't feel when I kill. I don't feel remorse when I kill. Let's take it to that level. Is that what you're supposed to feel? See that? But do you see what I'm saying? Okay, but do you see? But do you see that there's a fine point in here, and it's beautiful if you catch it. It's beautiful. Okay. Go ahead. Explain further. This is getting really deep in terms of philosophy. You see how difficult these questions become to answer? It's not light. This is where you need to reflect these stages. Okay? Should I, when I kill, look how far we took it. When I kill, should I feel nothing? Or I become literally like an animal? When a lion goes out to kill and it just needs to eat, is it just following desire? Does it feel? Does it care for the other animal? Is that where we get our moral code from? Some people will tell you certain things about animals and they'll what? Connect it to human beings without a moral code. Go ahead. Okay, so you're just reacting to the situation. But let's say you're a seasoned killer. A seasoned, like you know how to kill. You just come out and you just you chop off heads and you don't care. But let's say I don't. Okay? This is beautiful. See now, listen. She's saying now is exactly opposite of what you're saying, correct? No, hold on. You had a lot of time to talk. Hold on. Kareem, I love your passion, by the way. I love your passion. Okay, but listen. But do you see how it's opposite now? She's saying now that when you lack emotion, your heart has become black. Do you see what I'm saying? Because you started all this. I'm going to point right back at you all the time. Okay. But do you see? Do you see what she's saying? I just wanted to mess. I swear to you, I just wanted to mess with you. Okay, it's okay. It's okay, go ahead. I didn't mean to embarrass you. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, sure. Can I give you a little system of Imam Ali alayhi salam? That this is where we've reached now, by the way. Okay? But go ahead. I want you, and somebody remind me to give you the system of what Imam Ali alayhi salam says. Go ahead. Mm. I love that passion. Go ahead. Okay. Beautifully put. Anybody? Go ahead. Now she's going to serial killers. I'm sure. Sure. They're like a hero almost. What you feel. Yeah, how you feel about the matter. Okay. So let me give you a little understanding from Imam Ali alayhi salam. Okay? We have science, we have evolution. Okay? Let me give you what the true scientist of the soul says. Okay? You guys ready? All right. So Imam Ali alayhi salam, he states in Nahj al-Balagha, he says, there are people, and he gives layers of people. Okay? So watch yourself. And what you said in terms of this generation, and I apologize again, okay, I didn't mean to put you on a spot. But I just like doing stuff like that. Khalas, it's a trigger for me, I'm sorry. But now, you said the magic word, which is desensitization, okay? When do we become desensitized? In science, okay, I'm gonna take you to science. When you study like learning and memory, where does desensitization happen? At the feelers? What is it? Amygdala. Wow, I love this, all right. But doesn't it go down all the way to the neural pathways where the actual neuron doesn't fire anymore? The stimulus, see when you touch your finger, there's a neuron that just fired and you're actually in here. It's not just here, it's actually here. But desensitization happens when the actual neuron doesn't fire anymore. Think about that. It doesn't trigger you. It doesn't move. You want to see what Imam Ali says about these people? Watch. He says there's a certain group of people, when they see something wrong, see that? That's the key. Now, who dictates what's wrong and right? That's your moral system. Where does it come from? You, the animals, Who dictates that system? That programming that you should have embedded in you. Who dictates that? You? Me? Who? The Constitution? Who? What book, what laws do you follow? Let's say for you it's the Quran. For other people, it's something else. Everyone runs a set of rules that are connected to what? Here's the key. Emotions. Let me give you an example. Someone attacks your mother. The person is about 6'2", 250 pounds. And I'm like 165, 170 max. I'm going to have a little trouble. But you know what I would have that this person doesn't have? Emotions. I'm willing to die. So what happens? It gives me an advantage. The law and the idea of protection connected to what? Anger and emotion. When those two fuse, I just attack. I don't think, I just attack. This is a person that means a lot to me. So what do? I attack. That's now a principle for me. It becomes me. It's embedded in me. I own that principle. Now when I attack and I defend my mother and I push the person away, what happens? What would you call a person like that? They're brave. But imagine they don't do that. What would you call them? A coward. That's your character. Your value system gets split, literally split in terms of that level. When you approach and when you avoid, that is a character system. You remember I was telling you earlier, someone says to you, that's truthfulness walking by. Why? Because that's part of your character now. And if it becomes so infused into your character, where it's like removing wetness from water, it becomes your essence. You can't remove wetness from water. You can't remove your truthfulness from you. It becomes you. It becomes embedded in you. So now what happens? From there, you will just react the right way when you need to. It doesn't matter who's in front of you. That principle will get activated. Your heart will get activated in terms of emotion, and it will drive you forward. Even if you get killed, it doesn't matter. That was valuable. More to me than my own life. You see what I'm saying? Do you see sacrifice there? That's another principle. See how character works? Think of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, where there's a reason why you're sitting in this mosque. And if it wasn't for him taking that stand, you wouldn't be sitting here. Think about that. That your actions echo time. They create a ripple effect for humanity. That's powerful. So now, here's what Imam Ali alayhi salam says. He says, there are certain set of people, when they see something wrong, you know what they do? First step, Kareem, they feel that it's wrong. They feel it. Someone attacking my mother, I know inside my heart it's wrong. I'm not desensitized. Now imagine the guy who doesn't care. I don't feel that. It doesn't matter to me. He says they feel. The second thing they do is they say something. That's the second thing. They actually act verbally. The third thing, they actually do something about it physically with their hands. He says, if this person, if you have done this, he says, you have grabbed on to the epitome of what? Al-amr bil-ma'ruf wal-nahy an-munkar. To enjoin the good and forbid the evil. He says the second group are these people. He says, this person feels the wrong. They feel it. They see a sin being committed, they feel it. They know it inside their heart. Because they have a moral system, they have a moral code that they're judging against. And this moral code is different for everyone. This is why you have to embed the right principles. That should be your journey more than anything. Then, They say something, but guess what? They don't do anything about it. The third group, they feel it, they don't say anything, and they don't act. He says, this person has let go of the greater two. Then he says, there's a group. They don't feel desensitization. They don't say, and they don't act. He says, this is a dead person walking. And now we've gone so far as to do this. We do al-amr bil-munkar wal-nahy an-al-ma'ruf. We actually enjoin in doing falsehood, and we stand for it deliberately. And what? We forbid doing the good. It's flipped. The Prophet ﷺ has said these times are going to come. We're living in it now, where it's not even just taken to that level. It's actually flipped, where the truth is smeared, it's not known, and falsehood is prevalent, where now everything is accepted. You want to be whatever you want. It's your opinion. You don't surrender to anyone. You tell a child now, Habibi Baba, don't do this. Who are you talking to? Are you talking to me? I'm 6 years old, bro. I just graduated out of my diapers. Come on. You want to go? It's literally to that extent where parents can't discipline children. God forbid you tell someone, please don't do that. The psychological reactance that's created there is incredible. They don't want to listen to you. Why? Because we live in a time of opinion. My opinion dictates. I don't answer to general laws and regulations, which is what? What? Religion. Organized religion is being what? Removed. It's being talked against at all levels. It's general laws. But now, imagine, sister, this. You're in another country, and I'm in this country. You're a Muslim, I'm a Muslim. We follow the same religion, which is Islam, and we're both what? Shia, let's just say. Would I expect you to have pork over your house? What are we following? What are we following? Same rule. Is it a general rule? Is it? Yes. These things in these days, those general rules, don't mean anything anymore. You know why? Because I dictate, me personally, what those rules are. I tell the religion what it should do. My opinion is over everything. Marja? Who needs a marja? I'm a scholar. I took 10 classes of psychology. I know I've taken philosophy, and I got my PhD now. PhD is just a specific level of knowledge. It doesn't make you a grand, all-knowing. It doesn't. You're just specified in a very small percentage of knowledge. But now, because I have a doctor next to my name, what happens? What happens to my opinion? Is it specific or general? I'm a doctor. Marja, come on. I don't need Quran, hijab. Where is it? Show me. You have to prove things to you. They'll certainly look at the Quran, they'll say it doesn't make sense. You should say, I don't understand. Not that it doesn't make sense. But look at opinion. What happens? Imam al-Sajjad alayhi salam, he says this. وَتَرْكِ أَهْلِ الْبِدَعِ وَمُسْتَعْمِلِينَ الرَّأْيِ الْمُخْتَرَعِ. This is dua makarim al-akhlaq. Ya Allah, push me away from people who what? Innovate. Their religion is in their pocket. They create the general rules and regulations for themselves. It's my opinion. I don't agree with that. but you don't even understand it in the first place. And I'll give you an example. Okay? ترك أهل البدع ومستعملين الرأي المقتح, and the ones who what? Follow their own opinion. This is Imam al-Sajjad alayhi salam in Dua Makarim al-Akhlaq. Now, what happens here? I'm talking to this doctor and we're having a debate about marja'iyya. Why you need a marja'? I'm like, you're a doctor. You specialize. And I took it even further. Let's say you're a heart surgeon. I said, let's say I have heart surgery tomorrow. Can I perform that on myself? Tomorrow, okay, I'm going to cut myself and I'm just going to do it. I can do it. I know I can do it. If even your own heart you won't take a chance with, why would you take a chance with your soul? Why? You know how dangerous that is? When you start introducing your own opinion, a marja has to study like 40 to 50 years. Do you have that kind of patience? Do you even know the smallest part of actually deducing law? Do you know what the 4 criteria are to deduce law in the first place? To have an opinion? So now I'm having a conversation with the doctor. He's like, you don't need a marja'. I'm like, great. I said, how do you deduce law? He's like, I just figure it out. What? Mere opinion. What he thinks is right. I said, the way you deduce law has 4 levels. First level is the Quran. Second level is hadith. Third is ijma'. And fourth is what? Dalil al-aqli. First level is the Quran. Second, hadith. Third, in terms of ijma' as consensus amongst the scholars. I said, are you a scholar? Me? Of course I'm a scholar. I'm doctor, see? DR right here. Period. Doctor, period. Khalas, period means what? I'm all-knowing. So now what happens? I said, do you know how to read Quran? Of course. What did I do? I went upstairs. I grabbed the Quran. I opened it. I said, read. It's like, I know how to read it in English. I don't know Arabic. I'm like, oh, wow. Excellent. I said, do you know this letter wow? He knows a little bit Arabic. I said, you know what that means? He says, you know how many meanings that has, that letter wow? You say Wissam and Bassam, right? It means end. We all take it as end. You know how many different meanings it has in Arabic? Anybody guess? Guess. Just guess. It's okay. Try. I know I shook you a little bit. Try. It's okay. 20. 7. Very close. 9. It actually has 9 different meanings. It's a particle. It's one letter. But we sit there, we read the Quran, and we think it's what? Me, DR, khalas, all-knowing. When you don't know the simplest things about how to deduce law and regulation. So now, please, what I would ask you is reserve your opinion to the things you know. That circle of knowledge is the limit of your personality. Outside that circle, you don't own anything. What you know is the edge of your personality. Many of us, we choose to what? When we have conversations, and I'm not telling you not to ask. If you're curious, it's okay. Ask. It's okay. But don't go in there thinking you're all-knowing. There's a different emotion. So now, what dictates that moral code for you, what you feel like you should be attached to, is this. Whatever Allah loves, you love. This is the emotional code that should be structured in your system. Whatever Allah despises, you should despise. Why? Because Allah is perfection. And I would challenge you here. If I were to give you, give me 1 second. If I were to give you this equation, and you're sane as a human being, and I tell you A is better than B. A is heaven, B is hell. Which would you choose? Obviously, right? Why? Because you're always in a state of betterment. We're always trying to perfect ourselves. Any one of us. Why? Because we're always trying to move to the next level. If I give you 99.999% and I give you 100%, you would take the 100%. So you're always in a state of betterment. You're always trying to perfect yourself. I ask you this. What is absolute perfection? Allah Azza wa Jal. So you're geared, part of your fitrah is geared to go towards what? Allah Azza wa Jal. You're always in a state of betterment. So now the emotional code that we're talking about, how should I feel? Which is a great question. I love the question. But you see how much you have to dissect? And some of you are falling asleep and I'm sorry. Okay? I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. These things are very deep in terms of what you're asking. But you're asking, so I'm sorry. I have to entertain. I enjoy these things. I love these things. Because when you come to the end and it makes sense to you, it's incredible how your system changes. So now, if that's the case, if I'm moving towards perfection, I have a relative point of perfection, which is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He connects me to the absolute realm, which is what? Absolute perfection of Allah. I have to go through him to understand what? The greater good. When I do that, what happens? I have a navigation system now. I have the address and I plug it in. Now I sync my heart to that. And I find all the principles. Salah, I begin to love it. I begin to love Salah. When it says Allahu Akbar, my heart moves like the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he used to say to Bilal, Rayyihni ya Bilal. Please say the adhan, it's time. Make it, just bring me into that state of comfort. You can't wait to be in sujood because your heart wants to be in sujood, not your physical body. There's a difference. Look at Imam Ali when they removed the arrow, when he was where? In sujood. The Imam Ali alayhi salam says what? ركعة لي في دنياكم أحب لي من الجنة وما فيها. He says, one rak'ah in this world, for me, is greater than heaven and what is in it. Think about that. That's someone who's connected to Allah. So now, whatever Allah, and I have that navigation, I begin to build the right emotional code connected to the right ideas, that whatever Allah wants, because I have the navigation system, I love. Whatever Allah wants me to think about, I think about. And I'm not desensitized from these things. Most of what's happening now, and I love your question because of this. Guys, there's a psychological war on your mind, and it's after you. To embed certain ideas into your mind subconsciously without you knowing. I guarantee you, millions and even billions of dollars are being dumped by advertising, marketing, just to implement certain ideas in your mind. Those ideas lead to what? Sexuality, drugs and drinking, I'm sorry? Stereotypes. Any temptation, you're being fed. That's what's happening. Temptations are being fed to you. Look at the Super Bowl. Look at halftime. I'm sorry, just question yourself right there, just for a second. Are you a person who can't wait for the halftime show? Or are you a person who despises the halftime show? Check yourself. If you understand what I just said, you will see where's the truth, where's falsehood, where's temptation, where's goodness. And when you understand that and your navigation is set properly, you will know the truth how clear it is. And in the Quran it says, تَبَيَّنَ الرُّشْدِ مِنَ الْغَيِّ. Truth is clear from error. You know it. But when you become so desensitized, you need so much to knock you out of that space that you need somebody to die that's very close to you to start what? Reflecting and thinking, tomorrow that might be me. Then you're like, oh my God, I should think of my hereafter. What am I doing? But then a week goes by, the door closes, and you're just back to your old habits. It doesn't even change you. Because you're in love with what? Your opinion. Does it make sense now? Does that answer your question? I knew we would get there. Okay? Kareem, are you satisfied? Okay, excellent. I love that. It's okay. But that's excellent. Intrigue is even more awesome. I'm sorry, Kareem, I can't entertain. I think we're all tired. But listen, you want to go a couple more hours? I'm good to go. I swear to you. I can go all night. But if there's any more last questions or comments, I'll do it really quick and we'll go from there. Anything? Go ahead. What is it? Three levels. That was he says feeling. He said this is the emotional. You know how I always say, I don't know if you watch my lectures, and you guys listen, I have a ton of free information out there. So if you want, like, just find it. There's a bunch of stuff, okay? But there's one literally presentation that I have, and it talks about the four levels of communication, the 4 languages of communication. And they're verbal, behavioral, emotional, and dress. Imam Ali, in this sequence, he's talking about 3 of them. Okay? The emotional, someone feels. The verbal, and what? The behavioral. So those are 3 languages. Imam Hussein alayhi salam, he says true generosity is giving someone before they ask. So what other languages should you be reading? Do you see what I'm saying? So these things really exist. And some people are scientists at this kind of level of communication. I've studied this stuff to the nth level. I pick up on everything. 55% of communication is behavioral. 7% is verbal. And 38% is emotional. If you're thinking this is the only thing I should worry about, Allah yasa'adak. Okay? But at the end of the day, when you start understanding that, Imam Ali alayhi salam is telling you feel. So that means you have to have the right principle intact. What dictates that principle? That's your moral code. Whatever you think, it is. So a lot of us, by the way, and I'll give you even a little bit more. A lot of us, we think because we feel something, it's the truth. I feel something, so therefore it's true. We don't think about that. Wait a minute. Is that truth? Is that emotion truth? Is it, or is it just because I feel it? Do you see what I'm saying? So, do you even check your emotional state? If I'm not satisfied, why? Am I truly looking for the truth? Or do I just want to quarrel? Do I study myself at the nth level of my own intention? Do I look at that? So push out your ideas and your emotions from you and look at them. Watch them. See if they are truthful or not. Test them. And then make a decision. But don't think just because you feel something and you're not satisfied or you are satisfied, that it's the truth. But a lot of us, we make that mistake. That we think because we feel something, that therefore what? It's truth. So ultimately, on these kinds of levels, what I want to say in terms of conclusion, I think we're just going to conclude here, but ultimately, when you as a person start understanding that you feel, talk, and do. These are 3 levels, okay? Rasulullah repeats the same thing. He says, if you see something that is wrong, feel it in your heart. Or he says, do something about it. He goes the other way as Imam Ali. He says, if you can't do something about it, he says what? Use your tongue, say something. If you can't say something, and it's that kind of pressure, then at least feel it in your heart. Rasulullah goes the opposite of Imam Ali. But this is a system. No one can deny, these are universal concepts. No one can deny that we do these things. No one. Start off with universal concepts. So what do I do with these? What do these 3 things go back to? It goes back to emotion. How do I feel about this particular thing? Do I like it and am I against it? Or I hate it? You see what I'm saying? It goes back to that split. It goes back to your ideas and emotions. Is there anything before your ideas or emotions? Do you see that? Is there anything before your ideas or emotions? But do you see that? Like you as a person, can you go past anything, your ideas or emotions? You see these questions? It's excellent. These are good things to reflect on and ponder on. Now from here, if that's the case, and I am a set of what? Ideas and emotions, and these things connect. Who has the best principles? Because when these 2 connect, they create a principle, and that becomes you. Who has the best set of principles? That's what dictates the truth. And this person has to be the closest to what? Perfection. Right now, there's one human being, if you would take all of humanity, there's one human being who at least supersedes every other human being. If you were to measure human beings, that's why we have records, right? Why do we have records? So they can be what? Broken. But that's the threshold of man. But that's the highest form of perfection. So perfection exists, but just in different forms. This is how we measure. So who has the best set of principles? You have to ask. Are they living, not living? Who do you follow? Your own ideas? Who do you follow? What dictates who you are? Now, when you cultivate a bunch of principles, what happens? That creates an identity. That identity is going to interact with the world. That moral system will interact with the world. And down you get results. Where right now depression is at the highest rate of humanity, but we're the most civilized. Are we? Are we? That's a relative point for you to discuss in your own mind. And you see how these things work, but it's just based on principle, bottom line. Who has the highest form of principles? And number 2, who can maintain those principles? When you are what? Tested. So it's not enough to have the principle. You have to, the principle, for you to truly know that you have it, you have to be tested. And I'll give you a final example and we'll end with this. When Imam Hussein alayhi salam, in the middle of battle, adhan goes off and it says, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. That's a test. Your own life is at stake, but you're still going to pray. Did he pass the test? You guys have still heard the story all the time. So that is true principle. When you are tested with fear, Allah says we will test you with fear, wealth, everything. You're going to be tested. And when that wealth is taken away, and let's say you're a millionaire, some people kill themselves because they can't handle that. Some people lose a loved one, they start blaming God, they lose their faith. You see what I'm saying? Listen, at the end of the day, it's your choice. Listen, what you said is beautiful, by the way. What's wrong with that? It's a choice. Excellent. But can you escape religion? If I just said you're a set of laws and regulations, no one can escape religion. You just stated a law. You stated an idea that you believe in. That's your religion. It doesn't matter if you're an atheist. It doesn't matter if you're a theist. It doesn't matter. That's your religion. If you believe in God, that's your religion. You don't believe in God, that's your religion. Imam Ali says you can't escape religion. Religion is a belief system. But there's a difference between organized religion and non-organized religion. But it's okay. But it's okay not to do that. And an atheist, Imam Ali alayhi salam says, he says they're angry with Allah. Usually they have a lot of anger because they blame. You did this to me. You're in this test, not me. I get to blame you because I'm dependent on you. Why did you let this happen? You see how this stuff works? So at the end of the day, your decisions will create consequences. Those consequences, if you truly believe they're going to be weighed on the day of judgment, it will change your behavior here. It's all based on what? Your belief structure. On that day, some of us are going to have the book where, in our right hand, and a poor person like me is probably going to have it in their left hand. Okay? And I'm going to be a beggar then to asking you, please, give me a deed. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have hurt you this way. I haven't taken account. But it all goes back to your belief system. Our belief system, Tawheed, which is the oneness of God, which is a journey within itself to understand. This is the backbone of your belief. Tawheed, Al-Adl, which is God's divine justice. Some people think that God's not just, He's unfair. Life is unfair. Why am I here? This is not fair. A person who comes from that perspective blames God. The system that you built with my finite information and your infinite information and the way it's built, I get to judge you. Wow. Opinion, again. But from there, once you understand that, the third level is what? Nubuwah. Is believing in a prophet who can be relative perfection, who can handle the code that Allah sends down. That personality has to be able to handle the responsibility. Then from there, the imama, which is the imams. Then il-mi'ad, going back to Allah. Those are the 5 levels. That's your backbone. If you just understand the first one, and that's why I challenged on what? My brother, Mr. Bazzi, said what? Tawheed. When you figure out that code, in your heart something ignites. And the amount of confidence that you have is incredible. It's literally incredible. When you start understanding that I am absolutely dependent, I'm absolutely dependent on an absolute independent. There you find submission. And your heart now goes into sujood willingly. That's how it works. When I look at dependency and I say, I'm in need. I need something. And it's ultimately Allah Azza wa Jal. And when your heart can submit there, I'm telling you, you have emotional richness. There's nothing in your heart that's angry, malice, resentment. It's incredible what happens to your heart. I'm sorry for taking so long. I love whoever's here, okay? Thank you for doing what you're doing. Good for you. And if I lost you somewhere down the line, please forgive me. That means I'm not that good, okay? Please keep us in your prayers. Keep every person who has stayed at least in your prayers. This is a journey, I'm telling you. So good for you. If you stayed, good for you. That's what I used to do. I used to stay. I used to be the last person about maybe 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. I would find the speaker and I would wait for my questions to the last moment. And I wouldn't care. But those are the best conversations from 3 to 5 in the morning, if you can stay up. I'm not telling you to do that to me because I'm not staying up with you, okay? But at the end of the day, that's how it works, okay? Seek that knowledge. And if you don't understand or you don't have that emotional structure, it's okay. Go after it. Chase it. And don't stop unless you quench your thirst. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.